Good morning, everybody! In today's lesson, we're taking up the essay. The remainder of the course will serve as a bridge to academic writing. Here you'll end with an essay. There you'll begin with one. However, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, perhaps I should explain the nature of that bridge. Paragraphs. An essay is merely a collection of body paragraphs with an introduction at the beginning and a conclusion at the end. The same is true of the 5-page research papers that you'll write in academic writing. Just a longer collection of paragraphs, more carefully organized. And what's true of 5-page research papers in academic writing is also true of 10 to 15-page research papers in upper-level courses. It's also true of 30-page senior theses. Beyond Ozarks, it's even true of master's theses and doctoral dissertations. Mine, as I recall, was 753 pages long. Guess what? It was merely a gigantic collection of paragraphs with a really good outline. I said that an essay is merely a collection of paragraphs. The relationship is actually more fundamental. A paragraph, remember, consists of two elements. First, a general statement, the topic sentence, which states an opinion or something otherwise subject to proof. And second, a series of specific statements, facts, statistics, expert opinions, eyewitness accounts, detailed explanations, all of which support the opinion stated in the topic sentence. The relationship between general statements and specific statements is key to understanding what an essay is and how one is developed. Let's start with an illustration. Here, in graphic form, is a paragraph written in response to a question I asked a few weeks ago. In a well-developed paragraph, compare and contrast the approaches to character building employed by Eisenhower's father, David, and by his mother, Ida. The red segment represents the topic sentence. The 7 gray segments represent specific statements made in support of the topic sentence. Only this question asked you to compare and contrast. So the relationship of general statements and specific statements is not quite that simple. Here's a better illustration. The second sentence, formerly gray, is now blue. It probably says something like, the Eisenhowers agreed on some things. So it's really a general statement too. It's just less general than the topic sentence. The same is true of the 5th sentence, also blue now. It probably says something like, however, they disagreed on some fundamental aspects of character building. We might want to repeat the phrase character building here because the topic sentence is now a long way off. Okay, just for toots and giggles, let's try something. Let's indent the second and fifth sentences. Houston, we've got a problem. What is it, you ask? In college-level writing, a paragraph should usually be between a third and two-thirds of a page. We've split the difference and said 1/2. Neither of these paragraph wannabes makes the cut. But let's say we read more about the Eisenhowers and get more information. What if we add more specific statements to each paragraph wannabe? That's more like it. Before, the first paragraph wannabe consisted of 3 sentences, one general statement followed by 2 specific statements. It now consists of 5 sentences, after we added 2 more general statements. Before, the second paragraph wannabe consisted of 4 sentences, one general statement followed by 3 specific statements. It now consists of 7 sentences, after we added 3 more general statements. However, in the process of elaborating the second paragraph wannabe, we realized that the Eisenhowers differed on character building in more than one way. One was fairly narrow, the other broader. If we indicate those 2 categories of difference in our writing, our essay wannabe might look something like this. Here, the first green segment might represent a sentence something like, first, they differed in their attitudes toward discipline. The second green segment might represent a sentence something like this. Second, they differed in their attitudes toward life. Grand. But that second paragraph is pretty long in comparison to the first. What if? Here we've simply repeated the process we employed earlier. Remember, all this started out as a single paragraph. We split it in 2 in order to treat similarities and differences in separate paragraphs. Now we've split the paragraph on differences in order to treat 2 kinds of difference in separate paragraphs. Here's what that would look like in an outline. But was that really a good idea? The second paragraph on difference looks more like paragraph wannabe. You see where I'm going, I bet. What if we go back to our sources, do a little more digging, and find new information that we could add to each paragraph? Now we have 3 college-level paragraphs. But what if in the process of doing that, we realized that attitudes toward life was a little too broad? What if we realized that we could split it into attitudes toward family and attitudes toward the world? If we did, we'd have a paper that looked like this and an outline that looked like this. We still have a problem, though. Remember our original topic sentence, the one represented by the red segment? In all our fun and games, we just left that hanging. And yet it is what ties all of this information together. We have to do something about it. What we do, of course, is embed it in an introduction and reconceive our response as an essay proper. Now we call the red segment a thesis. Unlike topic sentences, which always come at the beginning of a paragraph, the thesis always comes at the end of the opening paragraph. In this illustration, the yellow segments represent everything you're going to learn about introductions in another 2 or 3 weeks. Of course, if we have an introduction, we have to have a conclusion. That's represented by the pink segments at the end. You'll learn about those in a few weeks too. One last illustration, though. At this point, what we have comes to 2.5 pages. Let's say the assignment is 3, since it is. What do we do? Well, if we are dumber than a dog turd, this is what we do. We write a few sentences of total crap. It's quick, it's easy, but there's a reason these segments are brown. On the other hand, if we have the sense God gave a ground squirrel, this is what we do. We go back to our notes. We find just a little more solid information about each of our topics, and we do it right. This ruins an otherwise good essay. This makes a good essay better.
One final word. You're going to be writing this essay 1 paragraph at a time. The essay question is posted in Canvas. Just as if this were any of the other writing assignments we've been doing all semester, find the command, then find the core. You're going to be answering this same question 4 different times, devoting 1 paragraph to each of the figures we've read about this term. Some things to keep in mind. First, each body paragraph will have to be roughly 1/2 page if your full essay is to be 3 pages. Second, although you'll need to get the core of the question into the topic sentence, you'll need to vary the way you do so, changing up the words you use, the way you refer to the core of the question. Third, you'll have to be consistent. You can't do a good job one day and a crappy job the next day. For an essay with even 1 crappy paragraph, is a crappy essay. Finally, I won't be grading these body paragraphs as they come in. Rather, you'll earn points only for the most basic elements. Turning in something that isn't obviously off topic. Getting the core of the question into your topic sentence. Writing a full half page. Formatting the paragraph properly. If any of you turn in something single-spaced, I shall be sorely tempted to feed you to wolves. There, all better. Still, you won't be getting substantive feedback on each paragraph. I'll grade the quality of your answer when I grade the final essay. For now, I just want to make sure that you have all the basics down before you turn that final essay in. So it's up to you, my young friends. No more reading assignments. No more online quizzes. No more training wheels. From now on, the bike's all yours. Write it well.